Let's turn though to that big story, the story that is taking the nation's headlines by storm at the moment. The top story. We have tonight our SIT team on cam. A leader claiming to be from the ABVP, an activist, a young first-year student of JNU, admitting to orchestrating or claiming that he orchestrated the January 5th violence. The ABVP activist on camera has claimed that he mobilized the supporters from outside and over 20 ABVP activists unleashed the violence on the rival group and on teachers. Meanwhile, we also have on tape left leaders from the Students' Federation of India admitting to vandalizing the server room on the 3rd and 4th of January. It's all on tape, and it's all at a time when the Delhi police itself has not given any names of those involved in the January 5th violence. Remember, today in a press conference, the Delhi police identified 9 suspects involved in the JNU violence. Out of these 9, 7 are from the left, including the JNU-SU president, Oishi Ghosh. The police, though, claimed that the suspects were involved in the January 4th violence in which the server room at JNU was allegedly destroyed. But who was behind the attack on January 5th? The police was silent on this. Today, finally, we reveal the identity of the mass goons, those who attacked students and professors with sticks and rods and stones. This is the first part of a mega India Today investigation by Jamshid and our correspondent Nitin Jain. Take a look at this first investigation, which will show you how a person claiming to be an ABVP activist of JNU claims to have organized the January 5th violence.
An unprecedented rampage on campus. A nation in outrage. As the country wonders who all were behind the January 5 attack on the JNU campus in Delhi, India Today has brought the truth out. Our special investigation team has ripped the masks off the assailants. Meet assailant number 1, Akshat Awasthi. He is a first-year student of the French degree program, a resident of JNU's Kaveri hostel. Akshat Awasthi identified himself in this video armed with a stick, his face covered with a helmet. Rushing through the hostel corridors in maddening rage, knocking anything, anyone that came his way. Listen in to his startling confessions.
तूने डंडा लिया हुआ था हाथ में, क्या था तेरे?
डंडा था।
डंडा कहाँ से लिया?
वो उधर एक दरिया के पास एक वो है, अंडे का रखा है, फिर बहुत बड़ा डंडा रखा था पास का, इतना बड़ा था, वही था।
तूने ठोका किसको था?
अब लड़के थे, 3 लड़के थे, एक लंबी लंबी दाढ़ी वाला था, वो कसरी लगा था, गेट पे लाता, एक गेट टूट गया था, खूब अच्छा है। कानपुर नगर से हूँ, वहाँ पे गली गली गुड्डे वाला है ना, तो मैं देखता रहता था ना क्या है क्या नहीं।
As the debate rages over which organizations the attackers belong to, Akshat Awasthi revealed his affiliation and the motive behind the raid.
तैयार में हमला हुआ, तैयार के बाद एक्शन का रिएक्शन वहाँ पे हो गया।
तुमने यार इतनी जल्दी 2-3 घंटे प्लानिंग कैसे कर ली बाहर के लड़कों को बुलाने की अंदर JNU में?
सर मेरे एक मित्र हैं ABVP के सेंटर मंत्री, इनको मैंने फोन किया। साबरमती में टीचर्स की और ये लेफ्ट वाले इकट्ठा हुई मीटिंग चल रही थी। फिर साबरमती को इसलिए टारगेट किया गया कि जब वो लोग वहाँ गए तो सब साबरमती को छूने के लिए वहाँ गए। ये साबरमती है, इसी के जस्ट सामने रोड है, यहाँ पे सब मीटिंग हो रही थी, यहीं पे गाड़ी खड़ी थी, यहीं कुर्सियाँ पड़ी थी, यहीं टीचर खड़े थे, यहीं स्टूडेंट खड़े थे। मॉब ऐसी आई, यहाँ पे अटैक किया, सब इसमें भागे। They don't think that ABVP will retaliate like this.
लेकिन कल तू जो कह रहा था कि 20 लोग एबीवीपी के जेएनयू के थे और 20 लोग बाहर के थे, तो अंदर जो 20 लोग थे जेएनयू के, उनको किसने मोबिलाइज किया, तुमने?
हाँ सर, मैं ये कह सकता हूँ मोबिलाइजेशन मेरे ही रहा है। दे डोंट हैव दैट मच माइंड, दे यू नीड टू बी एक्ट लाइक अ सुपरिटेंडेंट और सेनापति। कैसे लीड कर रहा है, कहाँ जाना है। उनको मैंने कहा कि इधर खड़े हो आके चुपचाप आके दिखो नहीं किसी को, इधर आ जाओ, सब सिस्टम से काम करो, कहाँ जाना है कहाँ। उसमें भी पता है मेरे पास कोई ऐसा पद नहीं था, मेरे पास ऐसा कोई टैग नहीं था कि जो मेरी वो बात थोड़ा और अच्छे से सुनते।
तो ये बड़ी एक कहना चाहिए कि हिम्मत की बात है कि आपने इतने 20 लोगों को जेएनयू के एबीवीपी के लोगों को मोबिलाइज किया साबरमती पे अटैक करने की, बड़ी बात है।
मोबिलाइज नहीं किया सर, मैंने सिर्फ गुस्से को सही दिशा दिखाई। मैंने यहाँ का
You heard Akshat Awasthi identify himself as an ABVP activist. According to him, the left-wing students at the Sabarmati hostel were attacked in retaliation for their assault on the Periyar hostel, a hub of ABVP students at the Jawaharlal Nehru University. Our SIT team filmed Akshat Awasthi during these ABVP demonstrations that took place on JNU campus a day after the raid. Akshat Awasthi now explained how and where his video during the JNU attack was shot.
ये जो हेलमेट लगा के साबरमती में मारते हुए आपका जो वीडियो बनाया, किसने बनाया?
वो एक रेसिडेंट्स था।
तो उनके पास भी है वो क्लिप?
जी, तो जब तक मैं नहीं चाहूँगा दे कांट आइडेंटिफाई।
मतलब पेरियार के रेसिडेंट ने बनाया?
साबरमती के रेसिडेंट में सर, जहाँ पे अटैक हुआ है,
उन्होंने बनाया?
जी।
कल को उन्होंने वायरल करा दी आपकी वीडियो?
वो आइडेंटिफाई नहीं कर सकते सर जब तक आई विल नॉट कम फॉरवर्ड। मेरा फिजिकल स्ट्रक्चर से मैं अपने आप को प्रूव कर सकता हूँ कि वो मैं ही था, क्योंकि मैं अगर वो ब्लू जीन्स पहन के और वो जैकेट पहन लूँ तो मैं वैसे ही देखूँगा।
You heard Akshat Awasthi admitting that he led the attack from the front at the Sabarmati hostel. There's a lot more coming on the JNU confession tapes. With Jamshed and Nitin Jain, this is the India Today Special Investigation Team.
So there you have it. We have unmasked one of the masked goons who claims that he was involved in mobilizing people and was involved in that attack of Sunday evening. What the Delhi police has not done at the moment has been done by the India Today investigation team. But it doesn't end there. How did this mob go about unleashing havoc on the campus? In part 2 of our investigation, we show you how the alleged ABVP members in JNU inside the campus helped the mob remain anonymous and how they went on a rampage at Sabarmati hostel.
By now we have heard how Akshat Awasthi rallied the mobs at the Jawaharlal Nehru University on Sunday. We now show you a fellow student testifying to his involvement in the criminal assault. Rohit Shah is also in the first year of the JNU's French degree program. Before Akshat Awasthi set out for the raid, Rohit Shah gave his helmet to the attacker. This to keep him safe from any splinter injury.
हेलमेट तेरा था? तेरे पास मोटरसाइकिल होगी?
सेफ्टी के लिए भी होता है, शीशे वगैरह तोड़ रहे हैं, शीशे वगैरह तोड़े गए थे, कुछ भी हो सकता था।
आपका भी तो रूम टूट गया था, क्या हुआ था? विंडो तोड़
दिए थे।
तो फिर क्या हुआ, आपने बताया?
फिर बस यही क्या होगा बोला मैंने, आगे बढ़ गए।
क्या बोला आपने?
यही बोला कि एबीवीपी का
तो छोड़ दिया फिर उन्होंने। तो आपको गर्व है कि एबीवीपी ने लेफ्ट वालों को मारा जेएनयू में?
बिल्कुल,
साबरमती में?
बिल्कुल। अगर ऐसा नहीं करते तो बाद में और क्या कर सकते थे।
और यहाँ से जेएनयू से कितने लोग थे एबीवीपी के?
10-20 इतना है हम लोग खुद.
You heard Rohit Shah suggesting that up to 20 ABVP activists could be involved in the attack. In his confessions, Akshat Awasthi claimed that a police officer on duty also encouraged the mob to beat up left students.
मैंने कैंपस में नहीं थे जब वो मैंने पुलिस को फ़ोन किया था उस समय. मैंने पुलिस को फ़ोन किया था कि सर ये परियार हॉस्टल पे ये लेफ्ट फॉरन जब मनी सर्विस का हाथ टूटा है सबका जो ये के नंबर पे आए हुए हैं तो फिर मैंने फ़ोन किया तो पुलिस आई देखने क्या हुआ. तो उस समय जो उनने जी से वो बोला मैं भी वहाँ खड़ा था मुझे भी जानते हैं वो.
बोला क्या बोला? और लाइट किसने बंद करी थी? तुम ही लोगों ने? स्ट्रीट लाइट
एडमिन आई थिंक पुलिस ने
बंद करी थी. क्यों?
डोंट वांट टू सी दैट कि मोबिलाइजेशन पे जा रहा है या कोई जा रहा है.
तो यहाँ भी पुलिस ने एबीवीपी की आप लोगों की मदद करी.
सर दिल्ली पुलिस ने की है.
The assailants now revealed what inspired them to mask their faces during the attack.
लेकिन ये कपड़ा ढकने का आइडिया आप लोगों को कहाँ से आया एबीवीपी वालों को?
ये सर ये देखा देखी आया. ये
किसकी देखा
देख के आया मतलब लेफ्ट वाले ढक के आए थे. ढक के चलो हर किसी को मालूम रहता है कौन.
If Akshat Awasthi is to be believed, the JNU attack was aided by the police. He identified several other people in this mob. He disclosed their names to our investigative reporters. India Today can share this information about the other suspects with the Delhi police. This masked man wielding a stick is one among them.
अभी वहीं कहीं छुपा हुआ उसका पास्ट हिस्ट्री नहीं है. 6 महीनों से उसने ओपनली वायलेंस किया.
Next, Akshat Awasthi named this woman attacker.
मैंने मेस में गया दिल्ली में उसके लगा कि मैं भी लेफ्ट आऊँ तो मैंने कहा मैं तुम्हारे साथ का हूँ. फिर मैंने थोड़ी देर 5 मिनट हम लोग वहाँ रुके. हम लोग के सब चले गए थे केवल हम लोग 2 बच्चे थे वहाँ. मैंने अपना हेलमेट उतारा हम लोगों ने गले में हाथ डाला कपल बढ़ के बाहर निकल गए. समझ रहे ऐसे हम लोग बाहर निकल गए.
Assailants caught on tape confessing their involvement. Victims of the JNU violence await justice. All eyes are now on the Delhi police. With Jamshed Khan and Nitin Jain, this is the India Today Special Investigation Team.
So there you have it. These two parts clearly show that activists claiming to be identified with the ABVP, which is, remember, an affiliate organization of the Sangh Parivar linked to the BJP, are claiming they were behind the violence of the 5th evening, the Sunday evening. I want to raise some questions right at the top, and then we'll get you more parts of our investigation. Why is this masked mob, including Awasthi, still roaming free? Delhi police, is it ignoring the crucial evidence? Because the Delhi police has not named anyone involved in the 5th investigation. Has the Delhi police launched a selective probe? Some of the questions I'm going to raise. How did this mass mob move with impunity within the college? Let me raise these questions. I'm joined by people who are in some way or the other connected. Raju Kumar is an ABVP Joint Secretary at JNU. I'm also joined by Vikram Singh, former DG of Police. Professor Surajit Majumdar is Secretary of the Jawaharlal Nehru University Teachers Association. Raju, I have to ask you, do you know this boy Akshat Awasthi, yes or no?
Yes, I know this boy. He is in my school, School of Languages. He's my junior, BA first year. I'm in BA second year French. He's BA first year French. And as far as I know him, he is not linked or affiliated to ABVP whatsoever.
No, when you say he is not linked or affiliated to ABVP, you've seen the video.
Yeah.
There he is very clearly saying I'm linked to the ABVP. There he is very clearly saying I mobilized 20 people inside, 20 outside. Are you telling me that he's lying on camera when he says he's not affiliated? What is your definition of affiliated or linked? Has he participated in your events or not?
I can't exactly say who has participated in our events per se. Well, we have our units, and he's not anywhere in our units. He doesn't come to our unit meetings. He doesn't take part in our discussion.
As an office bearer, you are
As
saying
an
he's not
office
an
bearer?
office bearer, but
Yeah.
that does not stop him from being affiliated to the ABVP.
No, that is being office bearer is what we mean by being affiliated to ABVP. Rest what he has said on camera, I don't know why he has said it. It might be some conspiracy. I really can't comment on that.
So why
But
would
yeah.
he conspire? Why would he conspire? Let's be very, he's implicating himself. Today, this boy is implicating himself, Raju. You are saying he's not an office bearer, fair enough. But the point is, he's implicating himself and your organization.
Exactly.
And is implicating himself in an act of violence.
Exactly, this is as ridiculous as it sounds. Someone implicating himself in an act of violence. Why would he implicate
He's been
himself?
caught on hidden camera. Now, you could argue that he's boasting or he's trying to sort of sell a story, but the fact is that he is revealing the entire details of all the so-called masked men. Why not accept that maybe he perhaps wanted to affiliate himself with the ABVP and thought this was his moment? And the ABVP is being seen widely as having resorted to the fifth violence as revenge attacks.
Well, I really have not. Well, I'll take it a bit differently with a pinch of salt. Akshat Awasthi, who is not an office bearer affiliated to ABVP, claims something on camera.
Yes.
While we see the official JNU president of left SFI, Aishi Ghosh, leading a mob into Periyar. We are not having a discussion. We are not having a discussion on that.
I'll come to that. Don't worry. I will also do. At the
question
moment,
is-
we have identified the masked people.
The question is, has SFI or CPIM, the party SFI is linked to, rejected that Aishi Ghosh is affiliated to them or not? We clearly reject that Akshat Awasthi or the other guy, Rohit Shah, they are not
You are
affiliated.
rejecting that they are linked to the ABVP.
Yeah, exactly.
What is the next step? You have seen the police press conference today, Mr. Vikram Singh. The police press conference seemed to suggest that we are still struggling to identify the attackers of the January 5th violence. Now, within 4 days, our investigation team has at least unmasked 2 of them. One of them has given great details about who the others are. What is next? Do I have to do, or does our investigation team have to do what the police should be doing?
Mr. Sardesai, the press conference in question raises more questions than answers. I think it would be more elucidating, more clear, but they did not shed much light. But the work that you and your reporters have done in the last 48 hours is more than the entire work that has been done by the Delhi police in so many days. One would not like to conclude the obvious that somewhere the investigators are marking time. They are not coming to the conclusion. They are not serious about the investigation. They don't have an investigation plan. They are not doing what a professional investigator has
The
to
reason
do.
they are giving the police is that they do not have the CCTV of what happened on the 5th. The street lights were put off. They don't have the CCTV tapes. Now, the police presumably can't do a sting of the kind that we have done. But clearly it shows within the college fraternity, Raju is smiling, within the JNU fraternity, many people seem to know who are behind it.
Exactly.
That is my point. 5 days later, the police today in its press conference says, we are still finding out. But within JNU, among students, now with our investigation, can the police live in denial anymore?
No way, Mr. Sardesai. 99% of the country does not have CCTV, the luxury of CCTVs, and yet the police are functional with absolute accuracy.
You're saying
If
you can crack this case
you
without
can-
CCTV?
Without CCTVs. And any university has around 200 troublemakers. What kind of intelligence and what kind of registered badmashan do you have? Every thana has that. And if you've not done that, well, you're living like a Rip Van Winkle and sleeping your way through when you're supposed to be robust policing and beat policing.
I'm going to play the political reactions that are coming in a moment, because a lot of the political parties are reacting to our investigation. But Surajit Majumdar, the JNU Teachers Association over the last 4 days have been pushing the point that what happened on Sunday evening, the manner in which the mob came in with sticks, stones was pre-planned, it was organized, and it involved outsiders and possibly some students. All of that is being said by Mr. Awasthi on tape. Are you therefore now even more convinced that the mob, the so-called mass goons, are in some way or the other linked to students who are claiming to be ABVP?
I think what your investigation has firstly done is to nail the lie which was made on your program a couple of days ago, an astounding claim about who the masked individuals were who attacked the JNU president, where the claim was made as if they were our own people who made that attack. So firstly, what you have done is to nail that lie. Secondly, you have also brought out from your investigation that the role of the police is suspect. And when you read this in conjunction with what the Delhi Police press conference today said or did not say, where it was absolutely silent on the mob violence that took place on the evening of the 5th, which by far is the most significant event of what happened in the last few days in JNU. That mob violence on the evening of the 5th. That the police investigation did not talk about that, but talked about other things that happened before that and remained silent on that question. So the role of the police itself is suspect, and that's something that your investigation also brings out. However, I would say that so far the investigation is only revealing what might be called the instruments of that particular attack. Who is the real hand? Who is the real hand behind this particular attack? You see, if you look at that particular day's thing, specifically a large number of teachers, a teachers program, residences of teachers, etc. were targeted. Now, they were not involved in anything that happened before the 5th. Why did that particular attack happen unless there was someone behind it? What was the administration doing when all this happened? The role of the administration in facilitating and facilitating the entry of these outsiders and allowing them this free rein for so many hours is what is the most important issue that needs to be talked about. That's something on which we need more investigation. And it's
sir,
clear
at the moment there is only
cannot be done either by the Delhi police
Professor
or by the
Majumdar,
university
there is only so much. There is only so much that a news channel can do. Let's be very clear, we are not police investigators. We do not have the facilities that the police has. I am only raising questions today that if our investigation team in 4 days can at least take this investigation a step forward.
I congratulate you for your investigation.
So the question is, what was the police doing? I'm joined at the moment by another ABVP.
I congratulate you for your investigation, and you have demonstrated the ineptness of the police.
I'm joined by the ABVP State Secretary, Siddharth Yadav. Siddharth, you've seen the investigation as well now. I was told earlier by your colleague Raju that he has not heard of this particular individual Akshat Awasthi being linked or affiliated to ABVP. But on camera he is openly saying that. Are you willing to today concede that it is possible that some people who have the ABVP ideology use this moment to get together, mobilize for whatever reason, and are responsible for the 5th evening attack, or are you still going to deny it?
It's not about a question of denial or acceptance, Rajdeep, but what is interesting is that India today has opened up a new court for itself, and it's the investigating agency, the top investigation agency for the country today, because the police came out after 4 days of investigation and they're being very responsible with whatever they're saying. They have come out with evidences.
Siddharth,
they have even named us.
We are not claiming to be the police. We are only putting some details that we have found before the country. Are we not to put it?
Anybody comes up
yes.
and says anything, and without a fact check, India Today, such a responsible channel, comes up and says that this guy is from ABVP when no responsibility has ever been held by the guy. India Today also in this thing cannot claim that he has ever been part or he has ever associated himself in any manner other than what he says, and cannot prove his allegiance to ABVP. But just because someone comes up and says in the political drama which is going around in the country,
right.
And on the day when the Delhi police is actually doing the press conference and making everything clear, India Today has to do a sting and come out with new, I think, findings. I think it's absolutely great, and the nation is voting.
Let me be honest, this investigation has not been timed with the Delhi police. We had planned. The Delhi police has done whatever they have to do.
A lot of things has been planned.
No, we have not planned. We have got what we have got. But I want to know, Vikram Singh, before I take a break, as is being suggested, this is a boy who's claiming to have been involved in the attack. What should be the ideal next step? Should the police, A, be taking the tapes from us? And B, more importantly, while they take the tapes from us, should they be at least investigating, interrogating this individual?
This should be a part of any investigation plan, that they should take the tapes from you, question Akshat Awasthi immediately as to his antecedents and the circumstances or whatever he has mentioned in the tape, because this is natural evidence and should be an ingredient of any investigative roadmap, and therefore his association with ABVP is a matter of any professional police officer is not interested in the political affiliation of the accused. Whether he was involved in the crime or not is the question that the investigator will answer. Yes, it's a different story for the larger conspiracy. If he is a part of ABVP or not, and his political antecedents, his background, etc., they will all come into the picture.
Okay, let me hold on to those thoughts, because there is another part to this investigation. We have at the moment focused on the first two parts of what happened in the violence of the 5th, because they were the so-called unmasked goons. Yes, you want to make a quick point, Siddharth?
I want to make a quick point, and the quick point is, why should the police come and take this video? Rajdeep, the police has been asking for all the videos.
You
must go and give it.
No, 1 minute.
You
we are
must go
ready
and
to
give
give
it.
it. No,
and
1 minute.
the police should
1
go
minute.
on with the investigation.
The law of the land is that the police has probably, hopefully
and
seen this.
they have made an appeal. All Akhil Bharatiya Vidyarthi Parishad Karyakartas have been sharing that appeal on social media. We have been saying, everybody come out, share the videos, share whatever content you have.
Okay.
And India Today must also
and
step forward into the same.
Tomorrow, if it turns out that Akshat Awasthi was indeed involved, that Akshat Awasthi claimed he was doing it on behalf of the ABVP, will you continue to express denial, saying he's not an office bearer, so we are not responsible?
Sir, do you think I'll worry about something which a news channel is saying? Rather, the Delhi police has named 2 of our Karyakartas as of the moment, and we are accepting that they are our Karyakartas, and we, with the same confidence, we are accepting that tomorrow when the investigation is going to be done, they're going to come scot-free.
Okay.
Because at the end of the day, it is the truth which will prevail.
We'll wait and
we all
see.
will know that.
We'll wait and see. Let's take a break. But as we go into it, listen into political party reaction that are coming in. Clearly, this investigation, the JNU tapes, is trending, because at the end of the day, the masked goons may well have finally been unmasked today. Irrespective of their political affiliations, they now must face the law. Listen into those investigations. But coming up next, we'll also tell you the other side. We've also spoken to former JNU's SU president and a left ISA activist. She claims to have been part of the group of protesters who were outside the server room on the 4th of January. Their role too will be exposed. That's on the other side. As we go into it, listen into political reaction that are coming in.
आज तक ने भी जो है जेएनयू मामले में इन्वेस्टिगेशन किया है, उसमें भी साफ नजर आया है। 3 लोगों से बात की जो नकाब पहनकर वहां, एक लेफ्ट विंग का है, 2 एबीवीपी के स्टूडेंट हैं। उन्होंने कबूला कि हाँ, उन्होंने नकाब पहनकर मारपीट की थी, और उन्होंने ये भी बताया कि वो एबीवीपी के हैं या लेफ्ट के। एक नई तरीके की इन्वेस्टिगेशन।
मैं इस पर कुछ नहीं कहूँगा, ये आपका निजी अनुसंधान है, मेरे लिए उचित भी नहीं होगा। पुलिस अपना काम कर रही है, करने दीजिए। लेकिन फिर मैं कहूँगा, विश्वविद्यालय शांति पढ़ाई के लिए है, विरोध करने का अधिकार है। नौजवान है तो विरोध करेंगे भी, विरोध शांतिपूर्ण होना चाहिए, और कृपया करके हिंसा न करें और संपत्ति का नुकसान न करें।
जब दिल्ली पुलिस से पहले हमारे टीवी चैनल्स अपने स्टिंग ऑपरेशन के जरिए 5-6 दिन का समय मिला, तो उसके अंदर नकाबपोशों को आइडेंटिफाई पुलिस नहीं कर पाई, लेकिन हमारे कई टेलीविजन चैनल सोशल मीडिया के ऊपर लोग जो है उनको आइडेंटिफाई करके, चिन्हित करके उनको सामने दुनिया के ला सके हैं। लेकिन दिल्ली पुलिस से अभी तक के कोई भी नकाबपोश उनसे आइडेंटिफाई उनके माध्यम से नहीं हुआ है।
Okay, the big JNU tapes are creating reverberations across. More breaking news coming in. The Delhi police PRO, Mr. Randhawa, has just spoken to India Today. Now claims they will probe the India Today sting operation tapes. Remember, the Delhi police so far has been claiming that they haven't yet interrogated anyone in connection with the 5th January violence. Now we have Akshat Awasthi claiming to be with the ABVP, claiming to have mobilized the groups and identifying all the attackers for us on camera. Listen into the police.
Basically, our SIT from Crime Branch, it's investigating the case, and we have given the notice in the public domain also that whosoever is having any information, he can contact the Crime Branch. The information which you are sharing, we will take this into consideration, and Crime Branch will investigate this aspect also. In today's press conference, we told in the starting itself, it is just the first press conference, because the reason told in the press conference, we are sharing whatever has been done till now. The investigation is going on, and we will share all the investigation in subsequent briefings. Basically, that's what I am saying. We are inquiring from all the aspects.
Okay, so the police says that they will look at these sting tapes. Now, you've seen the first two parts that focus largely on the role of these alleged ABVP activists and their alleged role in what happened on the 5th of January when students and teachers were attacked. But there were events that preceded it from the 1st to the 4th, where allegedly, among other things, the server was sought to be destroyed within JNU and there were other scuffles. Part 3 of our investigation takes you to those triggers. We now show you how left leaders are also admitting on camera to vandalizing the server room on the 3rd of January and the 4th. Take a look.
Identity of JNU's masked mob revealed. Men who unleashed mayhem confess on camera. But was there a background to Sunday's JNU violence? What triggered the mob attack? In an exclusive interview to India Today, JNU Vice Chancellor Mamidala Jagdesh Kumar claimed that January 5th's violence had its roots in what happened the day before. According to the VC, masked mob entered the campus on 4th January, 24 hours before Sunday's violence.
What happened on 5th also has its origins on what happened the past few days. We have our CIS Communication and Information Systems Office here, and this houses the data centers, and which is the nerve center of the entire university. So one day before, few students, about 10 or 12 students with their faces completely covered with clothes, they came and they abused and forced the technical staff to come out of the CIS premises, and they took control of our data center and shut down the whole thing. So I am wondering if the students who are protesting, if they are working for a right cause, why should they cover their faces? Why should they hide their faces? They could have simply protested, right? And that is the first time that we have seen in the history of the university protesting students coming with their faces completely covered.
The JNU administration alleges that university's data center was destroyed on Saturday, 4th January. The JNU VC has linked the malfunctioning of CCTVs during Sunday's violence to the shutting down of data center by this group of masked protesters. Some videos put out by the ABVP also allege that it was the left-wing students who brought in masked protesters on campus first. An FIR has also been filed against JNU Students' Union President for destroying the university servers. India Today's undercover reporters spoke to former JNU Students' Union President and ISA activist Geeta Kumari. Geeta was part of this group of protesters who were outside the server room on 4th of January. In this video released by ABVP, she's sitting on the floor wearing a grey jacket and trousers. She admits that she was involved in shutting down the university servers.
4 तारीख को जो ये मेरा जो वीडियो चल रहा है वहाँ का, उधर का ही उसके दिन बाद का इंसिडेंट है। हमारा वीसी सब कुछ ऑनलाइन करता है, लव लेटर ऑनलाइन भेजता है, ठीक है, हैप्पी न्यू ईयर ऑनलाइन भेजता है, धमकी ऑनलाइन भेजता है। तो हम लोगों ने सोचा कि इसको अब इसने ऐसे ही कर दिया है, ना एग्ज़ाम हुए हैं, ना हमारी बात मानी गई है, ना हमसे एक बार भी मिला है, तो हम लोग क्या करते हैं कि इसका जो सर्वर है वो बंद करते हैं। The administration shouldn't function.
The left activist does not just confirm her presence in this video, sitting outside the server room, but also declares that she played a role in the shutting down of the data center. A confirmation from the left that the servers were closed to hamper the work of the JNU administration. Listen to Geeta Kumari's confession once again.
ना एग्ज़ाम हुए हैं, ना हमारी बात मानी गई है, ना हमसे एक बार भी मिला है, तो हम लोग क्या करते हैं कि इसका जो सर्वर है वो बंद करते हैं. The administration shouldn't function.
Was this then the trigger for the violence on January 5th? Jamshed and Nitin Jain for India Today's Special Investigation Team.
Was this the trigger for the violence that took place on the 5th? Joining me now, Saket Moon, you're the JNU Vice President. You tell me, now there is an admission also from your colleagues, many from the left union, that they damaged the server, blocked the server. What about their role? Should their role also be investigated? Already the police is saying that they have suspects from those responsible for the violence from the 1st to the 4th. So while our first part of the investigation has looked at the role of alleged ABVP activists, the second part is looking at left-leaning activists who also have much to answer.
See, first of all, I would say that the JNU Students Union never gave a call for, blocking the server room or doing a damage to it. Our call was for the boycott of registration process, just like it was for the boycott of the examinations, and it has been for the boycott of classes before that. And it is a voluntary boycott, and that is why when we gave that call on the 1st of January, we did general body meetings of hostels, of department, of centers, as we call them, of schools, and in that unanimously it was passed. And therefore, even now, I'll just tell you, the registration process is completely online. You can do it over email, something that no one can block. Even now,
did you block the servers, yes or no? Did you all damage the servers? You are denying it. So here on tape, one of your activists saying they blocked the servers, you are denying it. Are you denying that between the 1st and 4th, and even till the 5th, till about 2 o'clock, there were activists of SFI, ISA, who were targeting ABVP activists, around 20 of whom claim they suffered injuries? Yes or no?
First of all, the JNU students, I am here on the behalf of the JNU Students Union. So from the union, first of all, no call for blocking the servers, it was a voluntary boycott. Secondly, it does not condone any violence whatsoever.
Was there violence? Was there violence against the ABVP activists of JNU between the 1st and 4th, yes or no?
Not to the extent of my information, but if there is a charge of such, it has to be probed in the most free and fair manner. There has to be an impartial inquiry for that.
Very interestingly, Siddharth, the fact is that let us assume that this part of our investigation is showing that maybe activists on the left stopped the server. You are claiming some of your activists were also attacked between the 1st and 4th. Does any of that justify my first part of the investigation where allegedly ABVP affiliated youth are saying we brought in virtually a private militia to teach them a lesson? These are the words. I'm going to use those words of Akshat Avasthi again. Those are the words. Hum dikhayenge कि ABVP में क्या ताकत है. Can you justify, does one wrong justify the kind of violence?
No, definitely not, Rajdeep, and I'll decode it for you. First of all, when left says voluntary, you hear compulsory, because for them voluntary means beating up students. A voluntary call for boycott of examinations means whosoever goes for examination or registration, you beat them up. When they can have an option of online registration, you close that down. They have the ex-president also accepting it, but the JNUSU would not utter a word because they never do it, because they initially and every time they decide to do it. When it comes down to, I think it's very biased when in the initial comments only we come out and say that this is what triggered the violence. This is not what triggered the violence, Rajdeep. The violence was not triggered then. The violence was a continued firing which was happening before and which happened after. The violence was happening in the day, the violence is happening in the evening.
Mr. Yadav, you are denying the first part of our investigation but readily accepting the second.
Yes sir, definitely.
So the first part, so ABVP दूध से धुले हुए हैं, despite that activist is not linked to you, but anyone linked to the server is linked to the JNU.
हम दूध से धुले हुए हो नहीं हो, but आपकी investigation भी बिल्कुल दूध से धुली हुई इसलिए नहीं है, because the second part of your investigation has a JNUSU office bearer. First part of an investigation is God knows who.
Okay.
Someone who claims to be ABVP, but no office bearer, nothing doing.
Very quickly respond, Saket.
The former word is important here. Secondly, what she has said is in her individual capacity. Show me one statement of the JNU Student Union.
We have pictures of them sitting outside the server blocking it. Why not accept? You are claiming no physical violence was sanctioned by JNUSU.
No, never.
Right? So how were the ABVP activists also beaten up? Somebody must have done it.
Yeah.
You are accepting that?
If they were beaten, somebody must have done it.
Yes,
fine.
that you are accepting.
Yeah.
Then,
but how does it say that the left activist or someone from the JNU beat it up? How? Where is the evidence?
Sir, because the
where is the
JNU
inquiry?
is of ISA, SFI, DSF. These organizations, these are the organizations whose Geeta Kumari associated.
Name me the activist.
Geeta Kumari, Aishi Ghosh, these are all activists.
Why
if they
would
become the JNU president,
no, let me reply to that.
doesn't make them Dudh ka dulhana.
Aishi and I drafted a message on the afternoon on the 5th, calling the police on campus, saying that there is a mob of masked assailants on campus with rods and lathis assembling at the administrative block.
Were you looking at the mirror while doing it?
That message, why would any criminal, if wants to do a criminal act, why would they inform the police that a criminal act is to be done?
Okay, Vikram Singh, as I conclude, I have to ask you this. Look at what has happened. The police today has said that we suspect Aishi and a few others for the violence that took place between 1st and 4th. They keep silent on what happens on the 5th. What is the average person who's watching this program to presume? That the police is selective? It has different standards, that the Union Home Ministry has different standards, under which of course the Delhi police comes, for those who are responsible for the violence if they are linked to ABVP and if they are linked to SFI or ISA. Shouldn't there be similar standards for all?
The truth is very simple. 2 plus 2 is equal to 4. When you have double standard that you seize no permission and enter the Jamia Millia and you wait for the affidavit of the Vice Chancellor, when it comes to JNU, your double standards are exposed in this scope. Then the second place, how can you have double standards in respect of investigation if you have a tape that has to be accessed and every shred of evidence has to be collected together, pieced, and then in incontrovertible piece.
Because today they have put up photos of the alleged suspects all linked to the left,
right.
2 of them linked to the ABVP, but broadly suggesting it's the left which has done it all. So therefore the 5th violence is becoming an area of darkness.
That is not the case, Rajdeep. I have a former DGP sitting with me. I would want to, with utmost respect, sir, I'm saying something, no? With utmost respect, I'm asking him, how many cases have you solved in 5 days? If he can say,
I can say many number of. I don't. But you
can we expect this
your
from the police?
integrity of
it's
investigation.
A sensitive matter connected to
so
the
why do a press conference in the middle? Why then do a press conference when you finish the investigation?
Because channels are coming up with sting operations, and if the police is not coming out with anything, we have channels coming out with vigilantes and solving everything out, claiming anything what they want.
I have not
and channels as responsible as India today.
Okay, so we will see where our investigation goes. We will see who Akshat Awasthi is. Let the world know. It's not going to go anywhere. There will be follow-ups to this as well. Definitely. For now, I appreciate all my guests joining me. It's time for my take tonight. The JNU tapes investigation by India Today's SIT team is a perfect example of why we still need solid investigative journalism. For days now, the Delhi police has prevaricated over the January 5th evening violence in particular, seemingly unable to nail down the culprits responsible for the brutal attacks. Now that the India Today tapes have revealed the role of alleged ABVP activists, there must be a swift and urgent investigation. At the same time, the police has named those who it holds responsible for the unlawful events prior to the 5th, mainly from the left SFI. It cannot be that one chain of events are focused upon while the worst example of Gundaism is played down. This is where the investigation has got politicized and an attempt to cover up the ABVP's role is being seen. This is unacceptable. Please act against all forms of violence without equating one with the other. Let's be very clear. The ABVP is an RSS-affiliated student group, while the police comes directly under the Union Home Ministry. The police is on test, so is the Modi government's commitment to law and order. What India Today has done today, the police must do tomorrow. Unmask all those, and I repeat, all those who have brought disgrace to JNU and the country. It's time to say good night. Bye for now.